That email I mentioned comes not only from my own country, but from parts of the world I've never seen and never will. This is my opportunity to thank all the people who have shared their thoughts with me. I've been edified, gratified, challenged, entertained, and sometimes moved by what you've told me. 1. An appreciation of differences. On the day I began writing this book, Laleh and Ladan Bajani were buried in Iran, in separate graves, apart in death as they had never been in life. Laleh and Ladan were conjoined identical twins, 29 years old, born attached at the head. They died during the surgery that separated them. In their 29 years of enforced togetherness, Laleh and Ladan had accomplished more than most Iranian women of their generation. Both had graduated from law school. They were able to sit and to walk because they were joined side by side, facing in the same direction. But the only way each twin could see the other's face was by looking into a mirror. Laleh and Ladan went into the surgery knowing the risks. Physicians had told them that they had only a 50-50 chance of surviving it. They were willing to take that risk for the chance of living separate lives. We are two completely separate individuals who are stuck to each other, Ladan explained to reporters before the surgery. We have different worldviews, we have different lifestyles, we think very differently about issues. Laleh wanted to move to Tehran and become a journalist, while Ladan planned to remain in their hometown of Shiraz and practice law. Ladan was the more outspoken of the two, described by a close acquaintance as very friendly. She always liked to joke. The conflict in career goals was one reason they gave for undergoing the surgery. Another was their desire to see each other face to face without a mirror. There may have been other reasons that they didn't admit to reporters. Their desire to marry, perhaps, and to have children. Having to go everywhere with one sister can be a bit awkward at times. Researchers have found, and Laleh and Ladan might have discovered on their own, that someone who falls in love with one identical twin may not even like the other one. Though identical twinning is nature's way of making a clone, twins are separate and unique individuals, to themselves and to the people who know them. Laleh and Ladan had identical genes and identical environments. They went everywhere together. They had no choice. But their personalities, opinions, and goals in life were different. That individuality was what they died for. Most identical twins are not born fastened together, of course, and most conjoined twins do not seek surgical separation in adulthood. But identical twins invariably differ in personality. Why they differ is a mystery that science has so far been unable to solve, and that the twins themselves are puzzled by. Why am I me? That question was put to Freeman Dyson, professor of physics at the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton, by his 8-year-old grandson George. I don't know what he said to George, but Dyson later told an adult audience that the question summarizes the conundrum of personal existence in an impersonal universe. I suppose so. But the question had a more specific meaning for George, because he is an identical twin. According to his grandfather, George knows the difference between identical, monozygotic, and fraternal, dizygotic twins. And he knows that he and his twin brother Donald are genetically identical. He is also aware, according to his grandfather, that he and his twin have the same environment and upbringing. They are growing up in the same home with the same parents. When George asked, "Why am I me?" he was asking, his grandfather gathered, how it happens that two people with identical genes and identical nurture are nevertheless different. If their nature is the same, and their nurture